Okay, hello, I'm back. Sorry we had to do a part two. Sorry we had to do a part two here because part one, the stream froze. Okay. So if you were watching part one of personal finance, okay, this is now part two, which I intended that to be all in one video together. Okay, guys. So just as an FYI. All right. So what I was talking about was the different kinds of platforms you can get on. Schwab, E-Trade, there's all sorts of different ones. And like I said, people think that these things are complicated, but if you can get on social media, if you can get on and create accounts for all these things, you can do this too. Trust me, you really, really can. Okay. So again, don't make it complicated when it does not have to be so. All right. Yeah. I also have, yeah. So for me personally, I know folks that do this stuff. But for me, going to a broker means broke. Um, I was just at an event over the weekend, with some ladies that I know and happen used to work with, and they were telling me about somebody who went to a broker and this broker was going to charge them 7%. And I thought, wow, that's a lot. That's a lot. I mean, I personally don't want to give up 7% of my gains to anybody. So, if you're somebody who's more in the small potatoes crowd like me, not millionaires, not born millionaires, maybe going this route is better for you than going through a broker. Okay. Um, so that's my 2 cents. Okay. And I'm saying this because I want you to actually hang on to your money. Okay. Remember, it's your money that you earned. Okay. Sorry, it's hard to read this on. Okay. Hang on to your money. Yes. Yes. That's what we're trying to do, right? We're trying to hang on to it, not spend it like water, right? Hopefully it flows to us like water, but we all know that's not always the case because we live in the real world, okay? Or some of us have to shop at Walmart. Excuse me. Excuse. Right? Some people like, I don't shop at Walmart. Well, you know what? Some towns don't have anything else. So, to me, the advantage of doing your own brokerage account means you have full access. Okay. Because if you give it to a Bernie Madoff type, you might get mad because they made off with your money. Right. Okay. I actually went to somebody the other day, talking to them, and I found them on the CFP website. They were a certified financial planner. But I asked them, I said, okay, well, if I give you guys some money, do I have access? And they're like, yeah, we don't know. It's like, it's like all these people want you to give them your money, but then they don't want you to have access to it. I find that to be a big red flag. Okay. And I don't do business that way. Okay. So the thing about doing these online accounts, like through a Schwab or a E-Trade is the one I'm familiar with, though. So I'm just throwing Schwab out there because I think they do allow people to do that. But I know E-Trade for a fact, and also E-Trade is going to give you all your tax documentation as well, so you can give it to your tax professionals, right? So if you're worried about, oh my gosh, well, what if I get into this investing thing and then there's all this tax? Not a problem. There's a little button you click, and then you just print it out and you give it to your tax pro, okay, when you go to do your taxes at the end of the year, right? Okay. So, a lot of people, again, they think it has to be complicated. It doesn't have to be. Anybody that's out there using the internet today, can literally go out there and create an investment account for themselves and start today, literally today. You can even put an order in today and it'll get executed tomorrow once the market opens. Understand what I'm saying? You can do this tonight, right now. And often when you transfer your funds over, they're immediately available for investment, right? It's not like a waiting period. Right now, if you want to sell something and get that money back, yes, you're going to have to probably wait a little bit. Okay, so realize that as well, right? Anytime you cash out anything in the market, you might have a little bit of a waiting period. But when I say, a broker keeps you broke, I'm saying that because they charge fees, and then 2, you have to go in there and beg for your own freaking money, and I personally don't like doing that. I wanna have control over my stuff. I want it's my password, honey. It ain't going into you, whoever you, right? Whoever you is, right? And saying, "Oh, Mr. So and so, can I have this amount of money so I can, replace my roof?" And what are they gonna do? Are they gonna be like, "Oh, you don't wanna take that all out right now, do you? Oh, what I mean? I'm an adult over here. I don't need to have those conversations because I already earned this money. You know what I'm saying? The hard way, the backbreaking, right? Yeah. So we don't need any slick foxes, okay, in these offices telling us what we already know. So it's another one of my rules I wrote down. Dun, 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 dun. It's actually the number 1 rule I wrote down. So really trying here. I don't know. This camera is real terrible. Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay. Okay. So again, people are like, oh, I don't know what to invest in. You know what? Warren Buffett's invested in Coca-Cola. Most people have had a Coca-Cola in their life. I'm invested in Walmart. How many times have you been to Walmart? I've been there plenty. Don't make it complicated.